All right, let's dive into the book that absolutely took the world by storm, Casey McQuiston's Red, White, and Royal Blue. It's a story that kicks off with a very simple but totally brilliant question.
The entire plot, the whole thing, really just boils down to this one high-concept premise. What happens when America's first son falls for the Prince of England?
And the answer? Well, it's a swoon-worthy international incident. Yeah, this book is all about the charming, totally chaotic fallout when these two massive worlds just smash into each other in the most spectacular way.
And look, this wasn't just a book. No way. It became a whole pop culture phenomenon. It blew up on Book Talk, shot to the top of bestseller lists, and then, bam, became a hit movie in 2023. This story really captured hearts all over the globe.
So where does a story like this even begin? Well, it starts with a rivalry that, and I mean this literally, takes the cake. Let's talk about the infamous Cakegate catastrophe.
Okay, so on one side you've got Alex Claremont Diaz, America's first son. He's quick, he's ambitious, and he's got this secret, totally one-sided beef with Prince Henry. He thinks the guy is just some stuffy royal robot. And then you have Henry, who honestly just sees Alex as this loud American problem he has to put up with at parties.
So picture this, a massive royal wedding. It all starts with a few snarky, passive-aggressive comments, right? But that escalates fast. We're talking a full-blown altercation. They shove each other, lose their footing, and where do they end up? Yeah, they fall right into this gigantic, beautiful wedding cake.
And we're not talking about your average sheet cake here. This was a $75,000 royal wedding cake. So they didn't just make a scene, they created this massive, expensive, and yeah, very sticky international incident.
You can just imagine, right? The tabloids went absolutely wild. The whole world was buzzing about Cakegate. It led to this perfect, hilarious summary of the situation. Yeah, diplomatic relations between the US and UK hadn't seen this much drama since 1776. So obviously something had to be done, and it had to be done fast.
So, how do you even begin to fix something like Cakegate? The answer? A PR stunt, of course. They come up with this damage control plan to fake a friendship, but plot twist, it ends up becoming the spark for a very, very real romance.
Okay, so here's the damage control playbook. Step 1, force these two rivals into a friendship for the cameras. Step 2, set up a whole weekend of super awkward but supposedly friendly photo ops. And Step 3, convince the entire world that they're suddenly best buds. I mean, what could possibly go wrong, right? Well, here's the thing. It actually starts to work. All that forced time together, the snarky comments and stiff photos, they start to melt away and get replaced with late-night texts and real, honest-to-God conversations. They're finally seeing the actual person behind the public persona. And then comes the big turning point. New Year's Eve. Away from all the cameras, all the handlers, Henry kisses Alex. And just like that, their fake friendship explodes into this secret, passionate romance. And for Alex, this isn't just a kiss, it's this huge moment of self-discovery too. And that's how their secret relationship kicks off. We're talking secret hookups in like the White House and Buckingham Palace. We're talking these incredibly poetic, flirty emails back and forth. They have to lean on this tiny circle of friends they can trust, all while dodging Alex's chief of staff, who is super suspicious and definitely not amused. But you know how these things go. A secret that big, it was never going to stay hidden forever. And that brings us to the story's huge crisis. The moment their very private love story becomes very, very public headline news.
Leaked, just like that. Their private emails, all of them, all the intimate, revealing stuff, are hacked and just blasted out to the media. In a single instant, their secret is gone. Their lives are totally flipped upside down, and the whole world knows.
And the fallout is immediate. It is intense. Over in Washington, the whole scandal puts Alex's mom's re-election campaign in jeopardy, though behind the scenes she's completely in his corner. But in London, the reaction from the crown is just ice cold. The Queen is livid. But what's interesting is you start to see this groundswell of public support for Henry, with people showing up outside the palace with rainbow flags.
So with everything out in the open, Alex and Henry are at a crossroads. They have a massive choice to make. Do they just give in to all the pressure and tradition, or do they stand up together and actually fight for their relationship in front of the whole world?
And Alex, because he's Alex, doesn't even think twice. He hops on a plane, flies to London, and he is ready to fight. He goes head-to-head with the monarchy, basically telling them,
look, what we have is real and we are not sorry for it.
And that really gets us to the heart of the story, right? It's this fundamental choice between the life you're supposed to live and the one you actually want. It's duty and tradition versus your heart and being authentic. And the choice they make isn't just about them. It's going to affect their families, their countries, everything.
Okay, so let's get into the grand resolution and really dig into why this story just blew up. What was it about this book that so many people connected with?
I think the appeal is that it just has everything you could want in a story, you know? You've got that amazing, chaotic banter of enemies to lovers. You've got the tension of a fake relationship turning real, the thrill of a forbidden romance happening at the highest levels of power. But underneath all that, it's really a story about courage, about identity, and just finding the strength to be who you are. There was this one review that I think just nailed it. It said, "International relations have never been so steamy." And that's it. That's the perfect way to describe this unique blend of politics, humor, and romance that makes the whole story so memorable. At the end of the day, it's a fantastic, feel-good story that shows how love can absolutely win out over tradition. And it really just leaves you with one question, doesn't it? I mean, who could possibly resist a love story that's big enough to cause a little bit of global panic?